Very much, Jackie, and it's good to be here tonight in what you have described as really the last edition of Leadership Matters. Leadership Matters started around 2020, and it was seen as an important medium through which the Prime Minister, senior officials of the government could interact with members of the public directly and further advance the promise of democracy, the promise of accountability, the promise of good governance. And as a result of the popularity of the program, we have continued it up to this day. And so I want to say a hearty thank you to the members of the public who have followed and given support to their active participation to Leadership Matters over the nigh 2 years in which I had become in vogue. This year, of course, has been a particularly challenging one, and I believe that that program has been instrumental in assisting us to communicate better with the members of the public and to keep St. Kitts and Nevis informed regarding the pandemic, its impact upon our lives, its impact upon the stability of the country, and what each one of us can do and must do to keep ourselves safe. I am sure that the success of our vaccination program so far, we are now with 81% of the population who has taken their first dose, and a significant number of our persons, citizens and residents who have gone on to take the booster shots. So we feel a sense of satisfaction. I myself am heartened by the reviews we get each week whenever the program is had. We have had some across the respective social media platforms, thousands of persons participating in the program. And I want to commend them and thank them for being so enthusiastic about Leadership Matters and about developments within the country. This program for me has been very helpful because it has given me, as the Prime Minister, a better understanding of how certain policy measures that we would have taken as a team unity government, how those would have been impacting upon the lives of our ordinary citizens and residents. It has certainly given us much food for thought regarding the articulation and formulation of policies and certainly their implementation. Listening to the voices of the people who call in, give their constructive advice and criticism program after program has been a sense of great information, a sense of great direction and guidance for me as Prime Minister of the country. And it has impacted some of our policy responses. Very often in this program, for example, we hear concern regarding the cost of health care. And we are mindful that Team Unity is working vigorously to deliver on a national health insurance scheme, and that is yet to reach the point of fusion. And in this regard, the cost of health care then, since 2015, has been a matter of concern to us as a movement and as a government. And so, as a result of the ongoing concerns, we have been able in this budget, 2022 budget, to include measures that would bring major relief to the citizens and residents taking health services at our main hospital. In this regard, I want to make reference to the costs of hemodialysis treatment and cancer treatment, which we propose in 2022 to reduce significantly by 50%. Imagine the cost of healthcare being reduced by 50%. This will bring significant relief to those who are suffering, those who are unable to afford the cost of treatment. The treatment, for example, for hemodialysis is in the region of 2,400 US dollars, and that is significant. And so we would have brought significant savings to our people. $800 a week. That translates into about $3,200 over a 4-week period. You multiply that by 12 and you get a sense of the significant costs and therefore the cost savings which would be realized. Another important matter that has come repeatedly on the program and has been the subject of public conversation regarding the provision of health care is the absence of an MRI machine at our main hospital and indeed in any of our 3 hospitals and St. Kitts and the Alexandra Hospital on Nevis. We are happy that in 2020 we will address this and we will ensure for the first time in the history of the Josephine France General Hospital an MRI facility would be available to add to the provision of diagnostic and other services to those who require them. So again, a significant impact of Leadership Matters, its audience, their input, and the outcome of the 2022 budget. On this particular program, we have heard callers who would have addressed the matter, the importance of the income support payments to them, to their lives, how it has helped them to basically keep their heads above water, meet challenging times when there was no income coming from their jobs or significantly reduction in income as a result of the closure in full or in part of some of the establishments with which they work. The income support was a lifesaver. And in that regard, we are happy in 2022 to propose for 2022 that the income support will be extended to those who remain displaced, unemployed for a considerable long period of time. We will begin that process early in the new year. We would rely, as we did last time, on information from the Social Security to verify the accuracy of the status of persons who would apply for this support. Importantly, on this program, we have heard persons who have engaged in the taxi business call in and request that the same measure of relief which we gave to the passenger bus operators, that we should consider extending it to taxi operators. I am pleased to announce again that as a result of those discussions, we have ensured that for 2022, we will be in a position to provide a similar level of support to taxi operators, even as we continue the support to the operators of passenger bus. And again, many ask, and Bucky Gatti did so very often on behalf of people, whether the government would consider paying a double salary. That, of course, at the time of asking was a difficult proposition because all over the world, the economies were in contraction and the future was uncertain. However, with God's help, we were able this year to realize significant positive development in our fiscal profile, and we were able just today really to make payments of a second salary in December, the only country in the world to have been able to be so generous to its people. And I want to thank the staff at the Ministry of Finance and the Accountant General, Mr. Levi Batcher, who is here, and who was able to mobilize his staff to do the necessaries so that this payment could be made so soon after it was announced in the budget. The double salary so far, we have paid about $31 million to about, I think it is 12,000 beneficiaries. About 2,600 plus of them are residing in Nevis, and the remainder would be residing in St. Kitts. Again, I am sure that this will contribute to the feeling of goodwill, the feeling of a sense that it had been worth the tremendous effort which many of our civil servants put in this year during periods of lockdown. Our Accountant General's Department rose to the challenge, and they were able to deliver every penny the salaries of our workers, our frontline officers, police, nurses, emergency technicians, you name them. They all had a very difficult period of time, and we were happy that God blessed us with good resources so that we could respond. We could go on and on enumerating a number of areas in which the policy prescriptions going forward have been impacted by the voices of the people. And I want to say thank you to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis again for their thoughtfulness, for their support. I am reminded that also among the beneficiary list is nearly 3,000 step workers, and of course our pensioners would have benefited from the double salary. So again, I want to say thank you to the country for the opportunity it has given me to serve as Prime Minister for nigh 7 years, challenging and difficult as it has been over the last 21 months or so of the COVID-19 pandemic. With God's grace, we have come a long journey, and we have done reasonably well. We have been able to save lives. We have been able to give our citizens the protection which the vaccine offers, and we have been able to do so free of cost. And I want to commend the 81% of the adult population that has moved forward and has protected themselves, and to encourage them as we see what is happening in the United States of America, as we see what is happening in the United Kingdom, as we see what is happening in Europe, and even in Africa, as they treat with the new variant of the Omicron virus, the COVID-19 virus and the Omicron strain, that we take every effort, wear our masks, frequently wash our hands, it boosts our own immune system, and of course get ourselves vaccinated. And if we are fully vaccinated and 6 months or so would have passed, we can get the booster shot. And especially if we are contemplating travel to any part of the world where the virus is again going rampant. And we see that in the United States of America. We see Canada, some parts of it almost on lockdown. And so very stringent measures are being introduced as countries brace themselves to what they expect to be a very terrible winter with the variant going wild. Again, I want to appeal to all of us. The government can protect you so much, but you have a personal responsibility to ensure that you take the necessary steps now to protect yourself. In that note, I want again to say thank you to all the public servants who have given me strongest support over the past 21 months. Of course, I must thank my cabinet colleagues for the outstanding support which has allowed the government to deliver so much. Over the last week, for example, apart from the delivery of the double salary or the announcement, we have been able to have the opening of the now S.W. Tapley Seton facility at the courthouse, our main courthouse. We have been able to have today the opening of the Sandy Point National Security and Judicial Complex, a facility costing us $6.2 million of construction, and which will house 4 entities: our police station in Sandy Point, our fire and rescue services, our customs and excise, and our magistrate court. And so today was a wonderful experience of what can happen when people come together in the national interest We always deliver more when we work together. On that note of togetherness and delivery, I want to thank our Accountant General for being on this program. He is no stranger, having been here several times before to discuss a wide range of matters, including the matter to do with the regularization of the step workers, including matters related to the budget process, and he's at the heart of it. Indeed, in the appropriation bill debate, I made specific reference to the fact that once we had passed the appropriation bill and it had received the assent of the Governor General, the follow-through work in large measure would depend upon the efficiency of the Department of the Accountant General. And with the bill now passed, basically, there is no let or hindrance to him proceeding to execute the requirements of law as it relates to the passage or processing of payments to those to whom they are due. So I want again to welcome you, Mr. Bratcher, to thank you to take the opportunity to share with members of the public regarding your role going forward and to assist in answering any questions regarding the budget process itself and the budget outcomes. Thank you again for being here, and again a hearty thank you to all those who are logged onto this particular program. And of course, we look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister. We're now going to hear from Mr. Levi